The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. The air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat.
You're listening to Truth Talk.
Those weapons of mass destruction got to be somewhere.
With Paul Webster and Chance George.
The first year of global governance with the establishment of the G20 in the middle of the financial crisis.
President Bush signed a formal agreement that will end the United States as we know it.
Nope, no weapons over there.
People who have been yelling, oh, the UN's going to take over global
conspiracy
government.
Theorists.
They've been crazy, but now they're right.
Yeah.
Maybe under here.
But I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. They're not interested in that.
Hello, and welcome to True Talk Radio. I'm your host, Chance George. I will be accompanied by Paul Webster as soon as I get a call into the show. We are from We Are Change Paris, and today is July the 11th, 2012. We'll be doing a show completely dedicated today to bringing the listeners up to speed on the secondary conspiracy, as I call it, the conspiracy behind the conspiracy of the mass arrests, the global elite, the cabal, the White Dragon Society, and basically an entire organization of light workers who are going to try and save the day from the evil New World Order. Now, I'm just basically waiting for Paul to call in. I see the switchboard lighting up, and you're on air. Do I have my co-host? Mr.
Hello,
Webster.
can you hear me?
Can you hear me? Clear. You're on
How's it
air,
going?
buddy. It's going.
Hello.
Now,
Hello.
You're up. All right. Now, basically, I have set the background of there's a conspiracy out there where basically the New World Order has taken over the world. There is a group of light workers who want to disband this New World Order, and there's key
Light
players.
workers.
Light workers, that's what they're called. They're calling themselves the light workers. Basically, they want to work in light and illuminate people with knowledge in the opposite manner that the Illuminati illuminates themselves. Now,
very good.
Now you basically have no idea about this conspiracy, correct?
No, that's what you told me in the van on the way to van the other day.
So basically, you're going to act as the layman or the listener right now and play devil's advocate, asking me every question that the random listener who completely think we're full of shit here would be asking. And I'm going to do my best.
I would have stopped you long ago. I would have stopped you long ago.
I know. That's why.
As far as it is now, let the record show that I'm somewhat aware of what's going on in the world. I'm not aware of the light workers, though. So, yeah, fill me in.
All right, so basically you're aware of David Wilcox, who is an
I've seen his 2012 Enigma. I showed it to people.
Filmmaker, documentary maker. He basically studies the source field, and everything on his website we have come to think of basic science fact that has been proven one way or another. And about mid-November of last year, he decided to publish an article entitled The Financial Tyranny, Lawsuits and Mass Arrests. Basically, he was claiming at that point in time that a lawsuit has been filed for $124 billion, and this lawsuit is because of there's a group of Japanese people and people in Italy who have found American bonds from the 1930s, and these bonds add up to $1.1 trillion. So, I don't know if you want to throw in anything yet, but basically, these people are saying that they say that they have the bonds. They are suing the Federal Reserve, the Vatican, the Trilateral Commission, and other members of the New World Order personally. They are planning on carrying out mass arrests, and they believe that when this is all done, this should be what leads all of us into the golden age.
Okay, hold on. Back up here, back up.
All right.
Who found bonds from the 1930s?
There is a group of people, part of these light workers, who have found, they said they're in possession of the bonds. They're a group of people from Italy and some from Japan.
Yeah, okay. And they're in the middle of a lawsuit for $124 billion.
Well, one of the bonds is worth $124 billion. There is another one that is about $18 billion. There is another one that is a $1 billion Kennedy bond. It's from 1964, 1963, previous to his assassination.
And what do they say these bonds pertain to?
They're basically what you would buy if you were a country and you were selling to other countries stocks and bonds. It's how they would have basically done global business back then. Now, I totally believe that the bonds are real and a legitimate thing, but these people are claiming that they have them and that they are producing them, and not only do they want their money and their gold back for the $1.1 trillion, but they're suing and basically wanting the New World Order arrested for it.
Wow, well, I can't wait to see how this transpires.
Now, that's basically what the rest of us said. Let's see the goods. You talk a nice story. And after a few articles on David Wilcox, who gave relentless background on this, he went into detail about who the New World Order is, where the conspiracy lays with the Federal Reserve, where the money came from, basically everything that we would have heard on an Alex Jones show or in one of our own conversations. It was all background, but he kept bringing up certain things, like he mentioned that on June 23rd, 22nd in Colorado Springs, that they bombed an underground military base. Now, I know that there is a military base in Colorado under the airport, under basically half of the state, but they're saying it was destroyed with a nuclear weapon, which is what the Colorado earthquake of June 23rd, 2011 was about. You can look it up. There was an earthquake from that exact location. I've gone on all the geological studies. So basically, there's little tidbits of information along with the story that I already believe, but these new little pieces are basically things that I can't prove, but I've been vetting them out and going through them. And after about 2 or 3 articles, we've come up with a new player. His name is Drake. He's this informant working for the military-industrial complex or working for the Pentagon, who is basically saying he knows about the arrests, he knows that it's going down, he is the spokesman for the Pentagon, who is the ones who will be doing the arrests. He's saying that there's a green light. He's saying that it's about to happen. He's giving dates as July 4th was supposed to be sit back and watch the fireworks day. Basically, this Drake guy has just been feeding information, and David Wilcox, among other reporters, are basically picking up on his story.
Wow. So
this
Drake guy hasn't revealed his identity. He said he works with the Pentagon.
Oh, no. Of course not. Which, now, you and me both know there's a thing called COINTELPRO, where in the 1960s, the U.S. government and the CIA would go and do counterintelligence operations where they would find a group of radicals, they would infiltrate them, they would then start their own movement in the radicals, and when the radicals finally followed along with whatever the COINTELPRO agents did, that became the setup for the arrest, the bust, the infiltration of the group, and the takedown. Now, is Drake COINTELPRO? Is Drake a disinformationist? Is Drake a problem reaction solution expert? Or is this guy a light worker? Like, who is this guy? This is something that I want to discuss with my associate here. Paul, what do you think about this guy?
Wow. Well, I'd like to see some kind of sources, some kind of docs. What's he given so far as documents and information, leads?
The only documents that he has said to try and prove his legitimacy is David Wilcox has gone on to say that he knows who this Drake is. He knows sources who are giving the same information, and that's about the most vetting we've got is David Wilcox sticking up for him. Now, David Wilcox did write an article about a week ago saying the green light, that would be nice. And it basically is his little bit of a rebuttal of, I really hope this is going to happen. I hope it's all going to work out. But is this disinformation? It's kind of like he finally has kicked on to what we're saying right now.
So I see.
Now, there's other players in the game that's going to make this even more intense. we've got Benjamin Fulford, who is the head of Forbes magazine in Asia, and he is a correspondent with Forbes. He not only has been breaking the news about this first, he was the one who brought it to David Wilcock's attention, but he's also been injecting his own interviews and feeding his own information, and then at the same time, Drake came on the scene to kind of correlate and wrap it all in together. So now we have Benjamin Fulford, Drake, and David Wilcock.
Wow. Well, I'm taking notes right now, and I hope I get to know some more information about this stuff. It's all brand new to me. The only thing I've seen on David Wilcock is he spoke some about the New World Order and that whole 2012 Enigma the film on YouTube is all I've seen on him, and that's really good. I had no idea about the light workers.
Well, I basically just did an entire research project on David Wilcock, went right into what he does. I got a hold of his audio book. It's 23 hours long. It's over 4,000 pages of description. It's called The Source Field Investigations. I listened to the entire thing. The guy is spot on the money. He knows his stuff. He goes into thousands of documents of basically source field is consciousness. The whole world runs around it. It's completely mind-blowing. So this guy's information is spot on. He knows his stuff.
Wow.
It's not a joke. But then you pull into this area, and it's kind of like every time I type it into Google, mass arrests or the cabal, the light workers, the only thing that takes me back to is either a David Wilcock article, an article by Drake, or an article by Benjamin Fulford. I cannot get a link to anything else. So it's kind of like I can't check the sources when all the sources are the same people. See what I'm saying? It's kind of hard. I'm running in circles here.
Wow. And who's this other person you say that wants to come on, that wants to talk to you?
This is what I got the call from. Is I found out that there is a lady called Lady Dragon, and that is her real name. She's from Montreal. She's a journalist. You've probably heard of some of the things she did in the past because she was a game reviewer. She does video games, and she has articles in magazines.
Is that right?
Yeah, so she, one of the biggest games she had to do with was the Playboy Mansion game, and she was at Playboy Mansion for the release with Hugh Hefner and all them. She's a legitimate reporter, journalist for over 50 years. She was here before there was Google. And she basically is one of the reporters or journalists who is reporting on what these stories are all about. She's not in on the story, but she is basically doing what me and you were doing, but on a huge scale. So she's on the radio with Drake. She's on the radio with Ben Fulford. She's on the radio with David Wilcock. She's reporting on all of this. She doesn't believe they're lying to them. She says there'll be big trouble if they are. But she is basically putting her neck out there, repeating what is being repeated. So Lady Dragon then contacted me through me inquiring on her website as to what the hell is really going on. She called me. We had over an hour-long discussion, basically talking about how to bring people together. People should start their own radio shows. I informed her that I'd already done my own radio show. She gave it a listen. She checked it out. She went on Drake's own show last week, then talked about our radio show, talked about how Chance is doing this. He's got a friend, Paul. They're coming on. They're fighting the New World Order. They're starting their own thing in their own location.
We go back. Anybody that we bring this to, how do you snap them out of it? That's the whole key still. It's good for the light workers, you know?
Well, I'm saying it would be good for the light workers.
Let's get that out there before something happens to them or something happens to the information, or you know what I mean? Like,
basically, it's out there. It's
running out, you know.
It's on massive blogs. It's being talked about everywhere. Mainstream media is avoiding it. So, Lady Dragon is basically saying that she has thousands upon thousands of listeners, millions of people worldwide networking. She wants to come onto our show, discuss what she can about it, have another format, another platform to get the information out, bring our show up in the way of listeners, in the way of people, in the credibility, basically bringing us into it. So instead of me and Paul having our own blog talk radio show where we basically go on about conspiracies and talk about all this, we've been thrown immediately into the mix of, do we want a few thousand people checking out our show? We need to get in on this mass arrest thing. We need to have Lady Dragon on our show. So now we have her booked. She's coming on the show. She's going to do an entire half an hour where we can vet her, basically hit her with every question you're thinking about asking me right now, and the pair of us can just drill on her.
How she's vindicated all of this, you know?
One of my major questions would be, how was she first introduced to this, and how did she first be contacted? Because for her to believe something in this, it must have been something that was vettable or believable. Like, you can't go from being a major mainstream reporter reviewing video games for PlayStation to I'm on the internet talking about a crazy conspiracy. So there has to be something to it. What drove her to it? That's going to be one of my first questions.
Very good. Very good. I'm looking forward to it. When's she coming on?
Well, basically it's all about when we're going to program our next show, but she is 100% on our next show. So
Excellent.
You name the time and the date, and we'll get it out to people.
Well, we should shoot for the weekend, anyways.
Shoot for the weekend.
Yeah, I would say.
Well, this weekend people can tune in, possibly Saturday, possibly Sunday.
$124 billion.
$124 billion, bud. I know. I actually commented twice about that in my last blog. I did a little mini blog. If anyone's listening, it's 1.5, episode 1.5 on Blog Talk Radio, Truth Radio. Me and Paul did a little introduction on episode 1. I knew this was going to be episode 2, so I got my own little mini on 1.5. Got a little bit of background there. But now, what would be your first thought of how it is possible? What are you thinking? What makes this possible that this is happening?
People with all the money and resources seek power next. You know? That's how it's possible.
So you think that this really could be happening because there is a group of people out there who are money hungry and they need power?
Well, it's plausible, is all I'm saying. It hasn't been proven yet. You know? Just coming
so
from
what
a
would be
layman's point of
your
view.
first thing that makes you think this is an unprobability of this mass arrest happening and the New World Order being brought to its knees? What makes you think this isn't happening?
I haven't heard anything of it.
How was that? Just off the top of your head, you listen to basically Alex Jones all the time. You're in the Truth Circle. You have Truth to Friends.
I haven't heard a
word
of
this.
Not a word of it.
Basically, that's what's stumping me. I'm on Alex Jones every day. I'm on different radio shows. I'm listening to World Crisis Radio with Webster Tarpley.
That's why you want to start a show and get this out there.
Well, not only is it already out there by other people, but I mean, why if David Wilcox, for example, who has more than 50 million viewers, how come it's on his show and Alex Jones, picking up on everything that he picks up, has not even mentioned this? There's not even an idea of it. I've heard one or two callers in the last month call in and say, hey, what about this Drake? Next thing you know, Alex throws a fit, drops the phone. Right? I'm done about this.
Really?
I don't want to hear about this. And it's basically, I don't know if it's been brought to his attention who all these people are, or if he's just like, I'm done talking about these people. Does he know who they are? Is he fed up hearing about this drama? So there's...
No. If there's going to be mass arrests, then the New World Order would lose, right?
Yeah, that would be the point.
Well,
so
then that would...
something that should be on his show.
That would, well, yeah, truthfully, but my gut tells me Alex is making money.
Well, I would also agree that Alex is making money. My inner gut doesn't have to tell me that Alex is making money. I know personally that he's making money because I'm paying him money. If mass arrests
happen tomorrow, then yes, he could resort to his lodge cabin in the middle of the woods and skin shroud whatever he wants to do. But it's if there's mass arrests, he's got no more job.
Basically, yeah, that's a good point. But
that's the first thing that pops in my mind if he throws the phone down when you say the word Drake.
The one thing that pops in my mind about it, though, is I've had one person who I truly believe in, Mr. Bob Chapman, the late, great Bob Chapman. He is the only truther that I listen to on a regular basis and has actually brought it up. He had a quick 1-minute little thing on his YouTube channel, and it's Bob Chapman's view on Benjamin Fulford. And he basically, this is the first and only time I've heard Bob Chapman swearing off the handle. He's basically saying, I don't give a fucking shit about this Benjamin Fulford, his White Dragon Society. He's full of shit. No, yeah, there's white knights coming to save the day. Everyone just sit there and do nothing. He's full of shit. So that's the only person I've heard commenting on it. And Bob Chapman is the man. He called Portugal, Spain, Italy, all the Greece, all the countries that are going under. He called them all 2 years out. He's called everything. He's been fighting the New World Order for 50 years, you know what I mean? He thinks this is complete bullshit. So that's getting me going right there. So basically, between now and Saturday, maybe I've sparked a little bit of an interest on you. You're going to go on Divine Cosmos right now. I highly recommend it to everybody. And read at least one blog called The Financial Tyranny and the Mass Arrests. And it's going to take you an hour and a half, 2 hours to read. But when you're done, you're going to realize that the whole background is exactly what we talk about every day. But there's integrated stories that are completely unfathomable to your mind. And is this really happening? Next thing you know, you're going to be down a rabbit hole. You're going to be doing a 2.5. It'll be on before our next show. We'll have Lady Dragon on, and we'll get to the bottom of this. I don't care. We're getting to the bottom of this.
Sounds good. Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's
unbelievable.
Pretty big news.
Yep.
Well, I'm looking forward.
Hold on, I'm getting messages written down from my lovely assistant here. She's writing them down slowly. You should say you're going to have a show about how to protect our... Oh, yeah, you should have a show about how to protect our children. Well, of course we should have a show about how to protect our children. We should also have a show about 9/11, GMO foods, aspartame, fluoride, all the dangers of the New World Order itself. But we might be getting those guys arrested in between now and then. Do you think it's garbage? Do you think this is on track? What do you think? Honest to God, guys.
You still need everybody to listen. Here's my problem. Sure, it's a big deal that there's going to be mass arrests, or if there isn't going to be, if they're trying to have some, or if everybody's scrutinizing each other with everything else. But nobody cares, so it doesn't matter yet. You know that you have to get people woken up. And every time
Paul, I got to inject
there's
here.
No way we can talk to people like that.
That's it. I'm putting you on hold. This guy's on hold now. All right, you can't even talk over me. Now I got to inject. How could people ever possibly care about something that's going on like this when the hockey game is on, or football season just started, or The Biggest Loser is on? Like, how are people supposed to care about these things that matter in life, Paul? How? God damn it, tell me. No, I let him off hold. Go ahead. Go ahead.
The thing is, it doesn't matter how you approach it at them. If you tell them that you're watching too much TV, then they kind of laugh it off. It's all pre-programmed, conditioned responses, and I don't know. It's a pride thing, I think, and it's built into you that you don't want to admit you're wrong, and so you put up a wall. And so we could have a show about how to protect our children, and everybody's going to either think we're crazy, or they're going to think that the system's already got their children protected, and why would they need to listen to us? So people all need to have some kind of spark happen in their brain where they all of a sudden say, hey, there's something different here. I can look at it from a different point of view. Hey, that goes with everything in life. You can look at everything from a different point of view. But when it comes to politics, just everybody shuts their head off. Like, You don't even need to know what's going on. Just watch one little subject and watch what two sides have to say, and it's pretty interesting. But nobody cares. Everything else is more important. So I want to focus on that because I can't even get past the small stuff, let alone $1.42 billion bonds and the white workers. As awesome as that is to me, and let's talk and let's figure this stuff out. We'll talk about it for half an hour. People need to wake up still. So let's have ideas.
All right, now just to inject a few backup points for this actual conspiracy of mass arrests, if you go on Facebook and look at Global Voice 2012 Canada, it's a group dedicated to people who believe in these light workers. They have 156 members. This is just a Canadian site. And they talk about Global Voice 2012. You've got to actually ask to be a member, but if you click on it, I'll sign you up right now. Now, 4 minutes left in the show, so I'll be fast. These people basically put articles on every day about stuff that is happening in the news that's relating to this conspiracy. I'm just going to give you a couple of the headlines right now. Iranian Canadians close TD accounts, Toronto News. Then you go down, we've got brother of South Korean president detained in China, Asian News. Swiss banks crack down, accelerate credit issue, UBC clients raided in Germany. We have got, let's see what else we have here. The new economic system, July 10th, 2012, a message from our society. We've got all kinds of things based on here about J.P. Morgan being arrested, investigated for fraud. They have numerous links about little aspects of this conspiracy actually being pulled off right now. So there is some information out there. When you put it all together in this big picture, you start to see the mass arrests happening. But all of these people on this site basically are saying, we believe in it. You've got to use your positive thinking and go with your gut. Now, I'll take their ideas at hand, and I'll go with my gut. My gut tells me there's something fucking wrong here. I don't believe this.
Oh, I agree.
I don't know what to say. If it is happening, wow, I'll be the first to commend it and jump on and help them arrest people. But I think that we're being duped.
Wow.
Unbelievable. I think we're being duped. And if anybody else before next week's show is interested in this Lady Dragon, they go to ladydragon.com, and you'll see the official site of Lady Dragon, where she has not only game reviews, all kinds of things like that, but she also has a large amount of interviews, the Drake interviews, all of the stuff from Divine Cosmos, so it's a good place to find in one spot. There is another player in the game we haven't got into. His name's Cobra. I won't even bring it up for now, besides the fact that this guy is ridiculous. If you've ever heard of G.I. Joe, you were a G.I. Joeer when you were a kid, weren't you, Paul?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, do you remember Cobra?
Yes,
Deathstroke.
Yeah, well, basically this guy's radio shows, he's called Cobra. He uses a sound effects voice changer, and he sounds like Deathstroke. I'm talking like
right?
this. He's ridiculous. I can't even believe him. He's telling me that he's part of the Lightworkers and that he is part of the Galactic Federation, which is a whole other story, but they basically say that they're aliens, they're here to help, and they've been here the whole time. I don't even want to get into that part right now. This is going to blow your mind, but I just want you to know before you go looking, there's going to be a guy named Cobra. You're going to call me back and you're going to say, George, I don't fucking believe you about this Cobra. Have you heard this guy? Have you heard of it? That's what I'm going to hear from you in about 3 hours.
I wrote his name down.
Cobra, don't worry. You're going to bump into this jackass, and you're going to be like, what is going on? All right, so we got about a minute and a half left. Basically, tune in this Saturday. We'll shoot for Saturday?
Yeah, sure.
All right, Saturday we're going to shoot for a show. We're going to have Lady Dragon on. We're going to nail her to the wall, get her all her information out. Let us know where she's getting this from. Let us know if she thinks this is bullshit. Find out what we can do, and that'll also help promote our show to all hell. So, final thoughts, Paul Webster.
Oh, I think this is great. I can't believe we can even have a show on the phone from our own homes. That's my final thoughts. I'm excited to play. I'm excited to speak with Lady Dragon. I mean, I don't even know where she stands on this. I'm gonna have to go read some blogs, I guess. This is
basically she's a
pretty
journalist.
exciting.
She's saying that she has no personal interest in it. She's just reporting on it, but she's not saying what's happening. She's just saying what they're saying is happening. You get what I'm saying?
I see. Yeah, I hear you.
I hope someone's following us. But anyway, We Are Change Paris is going to be on the move. We are going to be following these people, and we are not letting up until we get an answer out of these people. Not only that, but I'm going to start calling Drake. As of right now, I'm going to get a hold of him. We're getting on his goddamn show. How about that?
Very good.
All right. I will talk to you on the weekend. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. This is We Are Change Paris on Truth Talk Radio.
See ya.
Paul and Chance signing out. How the fuck do I end this episode?